It's very simple once you get used to it.
That's interesting. So for instance, a student, let's say, who might be a student of philosophy or theology, who might have a question, could write on their screen, let's say something about original sin or something, and then get information about that.
Absolutely, either by, again, doing research in the file libraries. They could search the entire text of the system to find out what files had information on the topic they were interested in, which ones they should read or download. Downloading meaning transferring from our computer to their computer. They could also ask the question in the message section, and perhaps the host of the Doctrine forum would give them a theological answer, or maybe other members would, who knew something about the topic, would offer information or point the questioner to other references.
I'm wondering also, could it be used for things like meetings, like Marriage Encounter Weekend, let's say in Maryland and College Park or something?
At its current size, it's a little bit easier to do the kinds of meetings that you would conceive as extended over time. For example, suppose an organization that has a national membership wanted to take a vote. One way people could cast their ballots is during a period of maybe a week, logging onto the Catholic Resource Network and sending a message to whoever's in charge indicating what their vote is. Because there are, at the present time, the system will only handle 8 simultaneous callers, it would be difficult to have a large meeting of people who are all chatting back and forth each other at the same time connected to the system. But over an extended period, to exchange information or to gather votes or gather feedback, it works out very well for that sort of a meeting type situation.
So a person who might be interested in it, what would they need for this?
Well,
who do we call? And
right. The first thing that you need obviously is a computer, and that can cost anywhere from a few $100s if you buy a used system to a few thousand if you buy the latest state-of-the-art computer. Fortunately, once you've got your computer, making it communications ready is very inexpensive. It's a simple matter to get a modem for $50 or even less. Once you've got those 2 pieces of equipment, presuming you've got a telephone line connected to your home or office, then you can use any standard communication software, and communication software almost always comes with a modem when you buy one. Any standard communication software will enable you to dial in then to the Catholic Resource Network. So the total investment doesn't need to be, even if you have nothing to start with, the total investment doesn't need to be any more than you would spend on, say, a good color TV. It could be much more than that, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. And so someone could start out with a used computer and just add to it.
Exactly.
Well, that's wonderful. Okay, I'm wondering, what accomplishments do you foresee in the foreseeable future with this?
Well, there are a couple of interesting things that we've done already and we'd like to do more of. For example, to my knowledge, the only place in this country that has the daily dispatches of the Vatican Information Service is the Catholic Resource Network. On any given day, you can log on, or that is connect to our system, and see the daily news dispatches put out by the Pope's own news service. We also try to put up other daily news that doesn't come out of the Vatican but relates to Catholic issues on a daily basis. We'd like to improve our news gathering function as time goes on and as our base grows and we can get more news feeds in from various people around the world. It is an international system. We'd like to make it more international. The Church obviously is an international organization. Right now it costs a little bit more than we'd like to connect from overseas, but we're working on that. We'd like to have more organizations involved. In addition to the 20 or so host organizations, we'd love to see many other Catholic organizations, including the Knights of Columbus, represented online, providing services to their members, increasing the contacts among their members. A lot more communication at every level, I think, can only be good for the organizations involved and for Catholics who may feel somewhat isolated, perhaps where they are.
You mentioned the news feed. I'm wondering, will this have a Catholic perspective on the news?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's an all-Catholic system. We insist that all host organizations and all materials posted on the system be faithful to the teaching authority of the Church. We are trying to give bread, not stones. If people come online to get a Catholic answer or get Catholic information, we want them to come away with authentic Catholic information, not just somebody's private opinion, not information that would be detrimental to the Church. This does not mean there isn't some information on the system which people would need to know about in order to perhaps counteract some problem that may exist and that may need Catholic attention. But everything would always be presented in such a way that the Church's position is clear, and in the hopes of convincing people that the Church's position is correct.
Well, to my knowledge, as far as within the Catholic community, I do not see this happening anywhere, except through you.
Well, it is a relatively, it is a relatively new field. There have been a few local efforts to provide local computer services, and even some efforts to link the local machines together on a sort of a volunteer basis. But to my knowledge, the Catholic Resource Network is the first effort to do this on a professional basis with a paid staff, constantly adding new materials on the system, having technical support available to people, a number that they can call to get help and get started, constant attention to the growth of the system, coordination of the efforts of all the organizations that are involved. So this is certainly at least on a much larger scale than it's ever been done. And we like to think it's a response to what the Second Vatican Council and subsequent popes have said about the importance of Catholics using all the means of social communication to advance the gospel.
Has this been used as far as various Catholic universities? Could they plug into this? And
they could indeed. There are some university people involved. We're only 7 months old. We started in December of '93. So we'll be much larger in, say, 5 years than we are now, God willing. We do have an academic and college forum that is hosted by Christendom College out in Front Royal, Virginia. And they have an interesting feature in their forum. Each forum has some unique services as well as providing scope for the activities already mentioned. For example, in the Christendom Forum, anybody dialing in can use the Ask the Faculty feature, where they can post a question that they need answered, and a secretary at Christendom will take that question to the faculty member who's most expert in that particular area, and within 24 or 48 hours will give an answer, a scholarly answer, back to the person who asked the question. So it can be used as a meeting place for academicians, as a place for research by students. We also exchange mail with the internet. Most major universities are connected to the internet already. Anybody who joins the Catholic Resource Network has, by that fact, an internet address and can send or receive mail to or from the internet, the so-called information superhighway, if you will, and any other email system that is connected to the internet, whether it's CompuServe or MCI Mail, America Online, Prodigy, they're all connected. So if you're on the Catholic Resource Network, you can exchange mail with all those people, and all those people can exchange mail with you.
It sounds very positive, especially you have a situation where it's more or less working in the solution instead of the problems that are going on within the church and even outside of the church. It's very nice to see how positive it is.
We do see a need along those lines. Obviously, the importance of a system of this type is primarily for two things: the exchange of information, and also giving people other like-minded people that they can discuss things with or ask questions of. And obviously, we live in a culture that is increasingly hostile to the faith, increasingly un-Christian, and many people either can't get information or answers that they need, or may be isolated because of their beliefs and not have too many people that they really feel comfortable sharing their deepest, most treasured beliefs or attitudes with. And